My name is Sebastian and I'm the founder of the Warrior Academy. The Warrior Academy is a martial arts organization that specializes in character development for young people. So what that means is we aim to radically transform a child's life by developing their 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. We've worked with over 8,000 families around the world, and we're voted top 5 in the UK for activities for children. I'm a published best-selling author on the area of character development after releasing the Warrior Method in 2018. And I've worked with lots of high-profile clients, including the royal family here in the UAE. I first heard about Daniel Priestley and the KPI journey about 10 years ago, and I basically read a lot of his books over the next 5 years or so. And in 2017, I went to an event where I learned about how to become a KPI that Daniel was running. It was in Birmingham. It was really exciting, really interesting, and I wanted to sign up at that point. Up until then, we were an organization with about 300 to 500 students in the villages and countryside of Somerset and Wiltshire. Within 24 months of doing the KPI course, we had expanded globally, and we had moved and expanded into Dubai. We had tripled our revenue, tripled our customer base. I'd written a book, and we were working with the royal family. It was just an absolute game changer doing the course. The foundations that I'd put in place from going through the KPI journey have massively helped me during this kind of disruptive time. We were just building out the business over here, and we were completely shut down. There was no way for us to run any classes. Our main source of revenue had just completely stopped, and we knew that the UK was going to follow quite quickly. My wife was 7 months pregnant at the time, and it was all an incredibly scary time for us. And truthfully, if it wasn't for the KPI community and the advice and support from Daniel and the amazing crash report that Dent produced, which helped a lot of people through this kind of pandemic and recession, then I wouldn't be where we are now. And really, we've used the last 6 months to transform and evolve, not in spite of the pandemic and the lockdown, but because of it. So Daniel talks about resetting and reinventing, and for us that was just that was identical to what we went through. So all the expenses went down to zero. We were very conscious of cost. We became very lean as an organization, and then we started to look into the future. What do we actually want? What is our purpose? What are our values? What's our vision? And of course, we couldn't teach physically, but we could teach online. We could bring what we're doing virtually. So we went through this kind of stage of reinvention, and our whole product ecosystem started to change. So we moved everything into this online version of what we did, and we basically really doubled down on community, developing this community. Although we couldn't meet up physically, we could virtually. And so we developed this online warrior family and online warrior net, which is basically 700 martial arts classes we filmed over a period of 10 days to produce one of the world's most extensive martial arts online courses, what we call our online learning environment. And then we use that now to really transform our organization. We evolved from this as a kind of hybrid physical virtual organization, and it massively boosted the value our members get. So many members were just seeing us as a physical club, but now they're way more engaged. There's so much more to us, and that really became a big part of our ecosystem and who we are. We were there for families when they were going through a difficult time. We paused, we stepped back, and we connected with people, all based on a lot of the advice I was getting from Daniel, the KPI course, the foundations we had through the 5 Ps, and of course, the community itself. So right now, 6 to 8 months after the initial lockdown, we've reset, we've reinvented, and we were forced to open up the first ever character development center in the Middle East. So I've spoken a bit about what the character development means and who we are as an organization and what we do, but there's nothing like this here in Dubai. And it was very strategic for us because we knew we had to keep costs very low. What we were doing previously was running classes in clubs across Dubai, 30 to 40 minutes apart, and it was really expensive to hire halls. So we wanted to produce this full-time academy, which gave our customers a much better experience, which solidified that kind of warrior family feeling, but also gave us a more professional feel. We were able to completely protect our business, keep all of our team. In fact, we've gone on to hire more people during the pandemic. We've also transformed our product ecosystem. Our profile's gone through the roof. We were featured 5 times on national press during the lockdown as Dubai's leading martial arts club. And now we're a more strategic, more profitable, and more professional business. We've got a solid 5-year plan to expand across the Middle East. So during the lockdown, I was surrounded by friends and colleagues and other business owners here in Dubai who were literally closing down their businesses, and it was pretty heartbreaking to see. One of the things that I was actually able to do was not just help myself, but actually help other people based on the advice from the group, based on the solid principles and the foundation from the KPI journey. And I was able to create several partnerships which created 4 or 5 different streams of income for us as a family, but also to help other businesses stay alive and to stay, producing profit and revenue, which meant that other people could keep their jobs and keep their businesses going. We actually created this online community in Dubai with over 600 businesses who were all supporting each other. And we started to create this podcast called the Round Pegs Square Holes podcast during lockdown when no one could leave their rooms. And this was all, based on the advice of Dent through partnerships. So for me, partnerships was one of the biggest things during lockdown. I always wanted to create multiple partnerships, but I couldn't really understand how it would work. I understood it on paper, but I couldn't really put it into practice. It was a bit of a stumbling block for me. And what I realized through the pandemic was, while you may have incredible insights and assets and IP that you sit on, you can find and leverage other people's IP and assets to produce something incredible together, to create a whole solution for a customer. Putting the Warrior Academy aside, I'd say that my portfolio as a business owner has completely evolved. I'm not just making an impact in young people's lives, but because of these partnerships, I'm making an impact into entrepreneurs' lives and business owners' lives. And it's really lit this kind of fire and this passion inside me to help other business owners, which is one of the reasons that I became a Dent coach, to try and give back to Dent, to try and help people through the KPI journey in the same way that it helped me.